This is KUGAN-CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global.
What's up?
All right, mate?
Good, mate. Where were you this morning?
Bit of a mare.
So just to let everybody know who's watching this advertisement, or whatever you want to call it, KUGAN-CASSIUS was supposed to be at my house this morning at 7:30. Now, what I was doing is I was taking the kids to school on the way to come into Manchester for the press conference, and KUGAN was going to come with me. Now, I woke up this morning and I said to the kids, just to let you know, this geezer's coming with us to school. And they're like, who? I went, KUGAN-CASSIUS. Who's that? I went, he's a massive YouTuber, because you know they're big in this. And they were really excited, and you let them down. You blew me out this morning. What happened?
So I set two. I didn't go out last night. Stayed
Right.
in. Watched a bit of 50 Shades.
On your own?
Watched a bit of 50
Can I
Shades.
say, if you watch 50 Shades on your own, you're a sad fucker.
Come on, mate. It's a sequel anyway.
Right, okay.
Anyway, so
Is that what life's like for a single guy?
Yeah,
you invite girls around?
No,
to watch
that's
50
not what
Shades.
happened at all.
You smooth fucker.
I set two alarms.
Right.
One at 6:15, one at 6:30. That's the backup one. I didn't hear any of them. I got up at 7:20. Phoned Darren.
You're here though. You're
I
here
still
before
got
me.
before
Well
you.
done. Yeah, well done.
So, first interview of the new year. What's new about you? Last year you were like, I'm ready, motherfuckers, and all this, and today you're...
I'm still ready. I'm good, mate. I had a really nice little 8 or 9 days away. Felt good. I'm a bit tired today because I have been in New York for the last 2 days.
Doing what?
In meetings, schedule meetings for the year, and more importantly, gearing everything up. Loads going on, so much going on. I mean, you're now sort of in the stage where March, April, May is now all in the works, all being done, and there is so many things going on, spinning so many different plates, and so many decisions are coming like imminently on so many different things. So it's exciting times, and I feel good. Next week in Miami is huge. You coming to Miami next week?
You
obviously
think,
for the
mate?
views. Yeah. Are you doing that thing with us tomorrow? Have you been asked to do that?
No.
Put my foot in it there.
What? What is it?
I'm not sure you're invited yet.
Go on.
So I'm gonna.
It's got
the team.
It's got to be something big to top what I'm actually doing tomorrow.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Well, no, go on, you tell me and I'll say.
So, no, when I tell you about it, you will literally. It's so up your street. Because you're such a clout chaser. That's the word, isn't it? View whore. You'll be all over this. So this is what I'm doing tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're launching this new show on Matchroom YouTube channel. It's called Unscripted, right? And it's basically just going to be a studio with me, fighters, and celebrities, athletes, whatever it is, who love boxing, who just want to talk boxing, right? People who I've noticed on social media have got loads of opinion about fights, about the heavyweight division, about social media boxing, about prospects, everything. So tomorrow is the first one. So Tony Bellew was going to be on the panel, but can't make it. She's had a baby boy. So I was going to replace him with you, but I'm not sure yet. So we'll see.
Well,
so lined up, we have guests like
Go on.
Your mate, the comedian, Big Tom.
Oh, Tom Davis?
Yeah. We
man.
have Wiley.
When?
You all right, mate? Come on. What do you mean when? Tomorrow. We have Joe Weller. And others as well, who, that's the first one.
What time is this?
This is at 11 o'clock in Wapping, in the studio.
I am with your golden goose tomorrow.
AJ, where?
I want to tell people
Right,
where.
mate. Well, it's quite easy for me to find out.
Yeah, you, obviously, I'll let you know, mate.
Okay,
I'll just send you a
Listen,
text.
to be honest with you, I think you're the wrong guy for the job anyway, so you go and do the thing with AJ, and we'll bring someone in who's a little bit more knowledgeable. But it's going to be fun.
Tell me about this at all. What was going to
No,
leave me
because
until today?
it's been sort of under wraps, but tomorrow is the first episode being filmed.
All right. I get a feeling we're going to have to pick this up afterwards, but we've got about 10 minutes, I think. Anyway. What's going on? I want to straight shoot with you.
Go on.
What's going on with Dylan White? Like, what month and where is he fighting?
Well, this is one of the things that's all in the air. So right now you've got March 28, Usyk Chisora, hopefully at the O2. You've got.
Did you think about doubling up or not? Never
not
an option.
really. No. Then you've got like April 18, April 25 for Dillian White, and then you've got end of May, early June for AJ. But there are so many things going on, and everything's sort of venue dependent. So where is AJ going to fight? We want to do it in London.
At Tottenham?
Anywhere in London.
What's your options? Have you got
Olympic Stadium, Tottenham, Emirates, also Millennium Stadium. Wembley's not in play, but I'd rather do it in London. So we're looking at Twickenham as well, talking to them. So.
What dates? You said end of May, start of June.
Yeah, so you got May 23, May 30, June 6.
It'll be one of them dates.
I mean, I don't like saying
He's not fighting in Turkey.
Look, this is the issue we have. I'll tell you all straight. PULEV wants as much money as possible, right? There isn't, like, the place that generates probably the least amount of money is the UK, right? But PULEV just wants to go to wherever the fight has the most value, obviously. AJ is not really bothered about how much money it generates, and obviously, you know me, I'm not motivated by money at all. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know if you are or not, to be fair. Go on.
Of course, it has to. For any fight, it has to play into it. But what I'm saying is, AJ is not thinking, "Oh, I just want to go to wherever I can make the most money to fight PULEV." He wants to fight in London. He wants to do it in the UK. So Turkey has come from PULEV's team, who came to me and said, "I've had interest from Turkey." So I said, "Look, go and explore it, find out the numbers, and we'll do the same, whether it's Saudi or Nigeria or Congo or wherever, all these places that are in place."
Was Saudi an option?
Of course, they'd love every AJ fight. But for us, that it feels like the right step now is to come back to London, and that's what we want to do. So, but it's if PULEV will agree to that, and you might get to a stage where AJ would have to say, "Look, it's in London, or I'm going to vacate the belt," which is a possibility. You may see him vacate belts in this instant. So, but. Really, in an ideal world, all the conversations with Team PULEV have been very positive, with Bob Aaron, with Arlo, with John Wirt. We make the deal, we get the fight done, end of May, early June.
So we can confirm he's definitely PULEV and not Usyk?
Chronologically, yes. PULEV was ordered quite considerable time before Usyk, so that's the way it's got to go. We've still got to keep everyone happy, and what I've said to Usyk is, you will have a situation in place where you get Chisora and Joshua within your deal with us, and AJ's happy with that.
And Usyk's happy with that?
Yes, he is. For us now, it's more about the date for Chisora, and March 28th for us is the perfect date. How are you? You all right? And that's what we're working
When
towards.
you put out that post about Dylan White,
which one?
when you said, meetings, we've had meetings, fight days coming soon. You tagged in the O2 in that.
Did I?
You did.
Okay.
You tagged 7 people in, like
Oh, right,
Zone,
okay,
Matcher, and blah blah. But the O2 was one of them.
Just to get people talking, really.
So there wasn't no subliminal message there.
Not really. I mean, I'd like to do it.
Have you got a date of the O2 in April?
No. But March 28th at that stage might have been a possibility.
So where could he possibly
Manchester.
fight?
I think Dillian White's next fight will be in Manchester, and the preferred date right now.
Don't say the 18th.
No, is the 25th or May the 2nd. Okay. No, because Warren's got a show on the 18th. You know me, I don't like to clash.
We know that. We've never done it before. So the 25th or the 2nd of May?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, as long as Joshua goes June 6th. So if Joshua goes May 30, April, do you understand?
Yeah, okay. All right, so this comes on to my next question. Billy Joe Saunders, okay, and Canelo, okay. Oscar De La Hoya came out the other day and said that he's not a front runner in this. He doesn't know where the story come from to put Billy Joe Saunders forward. Can you make comment on that?
Yeah, I don't know if he's the front runner. The story came from the World Boxing News, who, like, you understand, people put stuff out that's not true all the time. You just ask me, really. It's a simple way to do it. So Joe Gallagher phoned me up and said, I've just seen that Billy Joe's got the Canelo fight. We haven't had one conversation about Billy Joe fighting Canelo. We haven't had one conversation about Callum Smith fighting Canelo. Only that Canelo team said Billy Joe Saunders
Who
and
did they say this to?
To Joe Gallagher, to me. We were all with him in Dallas. You know, they're the two fights we like. Now Murata's come into the frame, and I think Murata's probably the front runner at the moment. But at the end of the day, and I said this to Joe Gallagher, you know, you got to be careful what you say, because you know you don't have to be a puppet, but at the same time, one line that you say that pisses off Canelo or Oscar De La Hoya loses you the fight, right? So right now we are at the mercy of Canelo, Oscar De La Hoya, these guys. They're the bosses in a Canelo situation. Just like if AJ was fighting, you know, PULEV or he's looking for his opponent, Canelo's going to do what Canelo wants to do, and Golden Boy.
It's a bit different to that situation.
What do you mean?
Compared it to PULEV. PULEV's a mandatory, so.
No, but it doesn't matter. Still, you don't have to give him the fight. You know, this is exactly the same. These people, as good as they are, and as much value as they had, like Billy and Callum, we're waiting for the golden ticket, right?
Like Rocky Fielding got a year
exactly.
ago. Yeah.
And you know, Danny Jacobs got that golden ticket, and hopefully Callum Smith and Billy Joe will get that. They will at some stage. Whether they get it on Cinco de Mayo is another thing.
Are you just going to chuck them in together if neither of them get it?
Very much likely. I spoke to Billy this morning. I spoke to Billy. He said, "What's happening?" I said, "Look, I think."
What, as in their next fight?
Yeah, I said, "I think you're in the running for the Canelo fight. But if you don't get it, we're not sitting still. There's Danny Jacobs, there's Demetrius Andrade, and there's Callum Smith, and they're the 3 fights for you. Good, no problem. When are you looking at? Probably April. Okay, great. Because we have to wait for Canelo, right? We have to, but we can't just be dumb and have no strategy and no plan, and just in a month's time get to see they announce Murata, and we're left holding our dicks." Right? We have to be ready and we have to have a plan, and that's what we're putting in place for Billy Joe and for Callum Smith, and I'd love them to fight each other. I think it's the right fight.
Just coming back to Dillian Whyte, spoke to him the other day. Obviously, we know you put an offer out for Ruiz. There's Povetkin, he's talking about Manuel Char. How realistic is Char?
Char, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he ain't fought for ages. I mean, it gives you a version of the WBA regular title. I love the Povetkin fight.
Who's the front runner?
Povetkin, but there's been a lot of conversations in the last 48 hours with Heyman's guys and Andy Ruiz. I made them an offer to fight in the UK. Then I had a meeting with the Zone where they loved that fight for the US. So I went back with a real chunky offer for Ruiz, and it got everybody's attention.
For the US though?
Yes, for the US. So,
taking all our stars out of England, man.
But Povetkin deal is virtually in place. You know, if that's the route we go down.
Povetkin in the UK?
Yes.
But would Ruiz not happen in the UK then after you put this offer in?
I mean, look, he wants a lot of money, and he didn't want to come to the UK for the Joshua fight.
Where in America would you stick that?
I'd stick that in probably Vegas or LA. Big fight.
Not in the East?
Possibly in New York. But you know, you could see Dillian fight Povetkin then Ruiz. So, but you know, the aim is still a world title shot, and that's why we have to make sure with the WBC that we're in a great position to get the winner of Wilder Fury 1 or 2, even if it has to be 2.
So Joshua suggested the other day that, I don't know whether before or after, that you are going to put out an offer to Wilder.
There's been no offer to Wilder. What we know is that...
So Joshua's comments, that's what I want.
I think what Joshua's talking about is the fact that we have a lot of money in place to make AJ versus the winner of that fight in December. Right? Now, whether contractually we can, whether the others would accept that, we have to try to do that, because ultimately that's the fight AJ wants. By a mile, right?
What, the Wilder fight?
100%.
Ahead of the Fury fight?
Well, he wants the winner of that fight.
Right.
But he does really, really want the Wilder fight. He wants to fight Fury as well, but he really wants to fight Wilder. So we'll see what happens. Whoever wins that fight, we will be making them an offer. And it's not even an offer, it's a partnership now. You know,
will you do that before or after the fight?
After the fight? No, not before. There's no. I mean, there might be some conversations, but let them get on with the promotion for that fight. and then the winner will sit and talk. They may just turn around and say, sorry mate, we're doing a rematch, in which case no problem, Usyk fights there and we'll do that. But we are in a position now where I think there's a deal that's so simple. I mean, when you talk about 50-50 deal, it's not hard, is it? Look, this is the money we can bring to the table, do you want to do it or not? So, but contractually they might not be able to. I don't know the ins and outs of that.
So I always like to kind of get your thoughts on the words of Tyson Fury every now and again, and made some interesting comments over the last week that he says he's got 3 fights left in Wilder, Joshua and Dillian Whyte thrown in there as well. Your thoughts on that? You
never know with Tyson whether to take him seriously, do you? I mean, I like when he said, I'm going to MMA and I've spoke to Conor McGregor and we're talking about Conor McGregor, I've never spoke to him in my life. So if Tyson's being honest about that situation, great, brilliant. Listen, Joshua, we're kind of in I think what the Ruiz defeat did was show everybody we can't be too complacent, right? So for me, I want to see Fury Joshua so bad. I want to see Fury Wilder, Joshua Wilder so bad. So if it's there, let's not wait. Let's get that man. And I do believe Fury will fight Joshua. He definitely ain't afraid to fight Joshua. And I think Fury's the kind of guy, as and with MTK and with Bob, that we could actually go to and do a deal. And the other side, maybe not so. But now we're at a situation where we've offered Wilder and Tyson Fury 60-40 in the past. Now
you'd offer them both 50-50.
I think it has to be. Look, they've built their profile to a level. They've got their fight coming up. We know they're struggling for tickets. They've called a second press conference on Saturday, which is madness. But it's still a big fight. But I believe that the only way Joshua's going to get that fight, when you look at the value and what the fighters are earning, it's not 50-50. But the only way you're going to get it is 50-50. So let's not fuck around. Let's just get it done. And I think the Ruiz loss maybe has taken a little bit of arrogance, maybe away from me, where I'm saying, well, maybe we thought we were unbeatable, we lost, we could have lost it all. Now, okay, it's much bigger than it ever was, but let's not be arrogant enough to lose it. And maybe I was arrogant in the past, but listen, it's worked out well.
Are you arrogant?
No, you're right, actually. No, that was a silly thing to say.
Don't be harsh yourself.
No.
He also said that he believes that Wilder would knock Joshua out in a couple of rounds.
But he said that Charles Martin would knock Joshua out. He said that Joseph Parker would knock Joshua out, and he bet $5,000 on it, or whatever he bet on it. He said that Andy Ruiz would knock Joshua out in a rematch. So he's never going to give AJ any credit, when he says things like, oh yeah, he ran all night against Andy Ruiz. Fuck me, you ever seen Tyson Fury box? You better hope that AJ don't run in the Tyson Fury fight. No one will throw a punch.
Who do you actually want to win that fight?
What, AJ against Fury?
No, Fury Wilder.
I want, from a global fight perspective, Wilder against AJ is massive. But from a personal preference, from an individual, I want Tyson Fury to win. 2 reasons. 1, I respect him and I like him. And 2, he's British. And I would never back against a Brit in any form, whether I like him or I don't like him, because that's just the way I am. And I hope Fury does it.
Map me out your 28th card, your dream 28th card on March
28th?
Yeah.
Usyk against Chisora.
Yeah.
Hrgovic against McCauley. Like that. Josh Kelly against David Avanesian.
Yeah.
Joshua Buatsi. Conor Benn against Johnny Garton. Along those lines.
Okay. All right, that's a solid looking.
And let me tell you something now.
Yeah, go on.
When we announce that show, if we announce that show, get your fingers ready, baby, because that one is going faster than Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
100%.
When are you going to announce that then?
Or when we get it done.
Yeah, but you said it's
hopefully next week.
Hopefully
it's
next
just
week.
the date. The deal is in place pretty much. So.
What are you doing with Katie Taylor in March, around St Patrick's weekend or around that time? Are you doing anything with her?
No, she's going to fight in April.
Okay.
She's going to fight Amanda Serrano.
Okay. In New York?
Yes, in America.
Okay, interesting. Now, the quarterback. Is he a quarterback?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. Has he got a few issues going on at the minute?
He's got many issues going on.
Right, okay. But
spoke to his guys this morning, about an hour ago.
So, where do you propose him doing that? Does it headline a card?
Yeah, it's fucking... I mean, look, Antonio Brown against Logan Paul. For us, Brits, I mean, is that big? Like, this is massive. Massive. it's 5 times the size of Logan Paul against KSI, because it just brings in a completely different audience. So right now, DAZN are looking at that and saying, I think DAZN only want to do one, we say YouTube, he's now a boxer, but YouTube style headline card in 2020, and that would be the one. But Antonio Brown does want a large amount of money, and he does have a few issues, and he's trying to get a club as well. And if he gets a club, there'll be no fight. So there's a lot. There's that fight is a long way off.
Well, what's the potential date for that for you?
April 25th.
Okay. This card here. Right, let's talk about QUIGG-CARROLL. What did you say to me on the phone the other day? I said, are you putting anything else on it?
Yeah.
But are you putting a... What's your chief support on this?
We've got Hughie Fury. We've got, actually, I haven't announced yet that there's another fight being added, which they're not here today because they're only doing this deal as we speak, with Zach Parker against Rohan Murdoch for eliminator for the #1 position for the WBO world title, which is going to basically be the mandatory for Billy Joe Saunders at some point in 2020, soon as well. So that'll be on this card. Hughie Fury on this card. Scott Fitzgerald on this card. Jack Cullen on this card. Looks like Robbie Davis Jr. returning on this card. Dalton Smith on this card. Loads going on. And the main event, which is just like, I love it.
Could get a bit feisty here today.
It's going to be very feisty here today. Jono is a brilliant character, and Quigg is hilarious because Quigg's never been the greatest talker of all time, but he's bang up for this. And basically, I love this fight because their careers are on the line at world level. You've got John O'Carroll, had a great fight with Tevin Farmer in Philadelphia, close run thing. Scott Quigg, former world champion at super bantamweight, tried to unify the division against Carl Frampton, and has to win this fight. Both of them have to win this fight. Style wise, you know how Scott Quigg fights, you know how John O'Carroll fights. It's going to be an absolute barnstormer.
Okay, Edward, just sort of changing subjects a bit. What did you make of the situation regarding Liam Cameron and Newcastle?
I don't really know a great deal about it. What I heard is that he failed a drugs test for cocaine and got banned for 4 years.
Pretty much, yeah. So, what do you think? I
don't know enough about it other than sounds harsh. Again, don't do drugs. It's always a good, example to lead.
A 4-year ban when?
No, I agree. That
comparable to other instances.
I think UCAD. I don't even think it's the ban. I just think it's UCAD. Like if Dillian Whyte was guilty and tested positive, then he would have got a 4-year ban. You know what I mean? I think Ryan Martin got a 3-year ban or something like that for testing positive. So it does sound harsh for the substance. Again, I don't know enough about it. It's always a good idea not to do it in the first place. But UCAD's bans are extremely harsh. But isn't that what you want? The argument here is, well, it's not performance enhancing. Do you know what I mean? So people, on one hand, they're saying we want bans to be harsh and long and deter you from doing drugs in the sport, which that kind of ban does. But on the other side, people are going, well, it was only cocaine. It's not really, it's like you can't have it both ways. But with some substances like cocaine and like marijuana, where they're proved to not be specifically performance enhancing, should there be? I think with VADA and stuff like that, I think sometimes those substances, are they even on the ban list in competition? Marijuana, I don't know. But I don't really know enough about it, mate, to be honest.
Have you spoken to, change the subject again, have you spoken to Amir Khan recently or not?
I spoke to his lawyer the other day. Not really. Kell Brook's firing. I saw his stuff with you the other day. He's in great shape, great condition. And I'm actually really curious to watch him in action on February the 8th. By the way, tickets going really, really well. If you haven't got your tickets for Sheffield yet, it's going to be a great crowd. Terry Harper's done a huge amount of tickets. Kid Galahad, Martin Ward added to the card, Dave Allen, etc. But Kell Brook, Mark DeLuca is a really good fight because it will tell us exactly where Kell's at. And he was quite honest in his interview with Umar. If I'm finished, you'll see it on February the 8th, because if I don't look amazing, I don't want to be in this sport anymore. But DeLuca is not a mug. He can really fight. And Ken Casey and the Irish boys and the boys out of Boston, they fancy this fight big time. And DeLuca's a fit boy. It's going to be a great fight.
You're doing a little cheeky one to Bournemouth, aren't you?
Yeah, we're looking at doing. I want to just do a few different things this year. Chris Billam-Smith will headline a Next Gen card in Bournemouth. I want to go down there. I mean, when was the last time Bournemouth had a televised boxing show?
Have they ever had one?
No, probably not. So, but really, the next 7 to 10 days, you're going to see our March, April, and May all fall into shape, and the jigsaw's coming together.
Big show in Miami next week on a Thursday night.
Huge show.
What do you reckon?
Listen, I love the fight. I mean, Luke Keeler, like, you have to understand, when I'm in America, people go, I mean, this Andrade fight, man, this is not a great fight. Luke Keeler, like, who's this guy? I said, look, what I'll tell you about Luke Keeler is...
Game as fuck.
He'll be game as fuck, and he'll stick it on Andrade. He's got a very good trainer in Peter Taylor. They're bang up for this fight. This is a dream opportunity for Luke Keeler. Yeah. And Demetrius better be on it. Do you know what I mean? Because Demetrius is under pressure to look good. Tevin Farmer against Jojo Diaz is just a brilliant fight.
Go off as
the
well.
build-up's going to be unbelievable. But I promise you this, Danny Roman against Akhmadaliev, his mandatory challenger for the Unified World Bantamweight, Super Bantamweight Championship, is such a good fight. I promise you, like, do not miss this card. And Gibb against Jake
that's
Paul.
the headline fight,
No,
mate.
it's not the headline. That's going to be a great fight. And I will say something about Jake Paul against Anderson Gibb. 10-ounce gloves, no head guards. That ain't going a distance.
I'm curious to see whether
don't
Gibb
think
can
it will.
fight. Have you seen
Gibb?
I love Gibb.
Gibb is not technically not great. Jake Paul can fight, by the way. Gibb is not technically great, but he's got plenty of arsehole, and he can whack a bit, and he has a right go. And I think someone's getting flattened. But I did say that last time. But it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing week in Miami. Super Bowl
When
week.
do you go?
Tuesday, early Tuesday. The press conference is Tuesday, like 5 o'clock.
I'm leaving Sunday.
Oh yeah, oh, mate.
You know.
It's going to be unbelievable.
What's that with Golovkin, Ed? Is it,
Still talking. I mean, there's talks about a potential Kazakhstan fight as well. Zerameta likely
That's
to be
his
next.
fight,
Yeah, it's
definitely,
his
yeah.
mandatory challenger. That's likely to be next. Either April, it looks like April the 11th is a possibility in Kazakhstan or in America.
What's your card you're planning with, like, Hooker and that?
That could be April 25th.
A lot of things you've mentioned for April 25th.
If the Antonio Brown, to be honest, if Antonio Brown Logan Paul does happen on April 25th, then Hooker Prograis would be co-main event on that. But if Antonio Brown Logan Paul doesn't happen, we may still go main event with Hooker Prograis. I love that fight. I love that fight. So we're trying to make that with Lou DiBella and Dino Duva from WHYTE-RUIZ. Luke Campbell against Javier Fortuna for the WBC world title as well. And then can I just point out, February the 29th in Dallas?
Yeah. Come back to a Coley, by the way, as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
February 29th in Dallas. Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas. Cal Yafai against Chocolatito. Julio Cesar Martinez against Jay Harris. Joseph Parker. Murat Gassiev. Israel Madrimov. Mate, this is an unbelievable
Yeah, it's a bit of a
card
banger,
for
to be
February
fair.
29th. Not a bit of a banger, it's fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable card.
Bit of a banger.
More than a bit of a banger.
More than a banger.
So yeah, that's that. Coley, Glowacki. There are final negotiations going on for that fight at the moment.
Where?
Could land in America. Originally we were planning March 28th. Again, this is all part of the puzzle, the Golovkin card, etc. But it's very likely that fight will take place in America.
Hold on a second. Ed, I'm nearly finished. You didn't land Wilder Fury, bit of a sickner for you, Sky?
Not really. We made a great offer. I mean, I think sometimes in this position, you know, BT had to match an offer. It's not an offer of what the fight could generate. It's a guarantee. And I think Sky probably put a number in that meant BT couldn't make any money. So, you know, there's a lot of things, politics and chess moves. I would have liked it on Sky because I want Sky subscribers to have the best schedule. They already have the best schedule in boxing, and this is a big fight that we would have liked to get. BT have got it. You know, the structure of the deal now is different, and unfortunately for the Wilder Fury promotion, they won't make anywhere near as much money from the UK pay-per-view as they could have done. But all BT had to do was match the minimum guarantee. So they did that. They got the fight. Good luck to them.
Absolutely. But the zone this year, big plans?
Big plans. Big plans. Big global plans. Big global plans.
What's any inkling about them coming over here?
I think it's only a matter of time. You know, I think that the UK is a market they must be in.
Does that put you in a very awkward position?
At some point, yeah. But you know, we're happy where we are. We've been with Sky for a long time. We changed the game with Sky Sports, and Sky Sports were a huge part of that. We're a massive partner of theirs across many different sports, and you know, it's well documented. We have a year and a half left on our contract, and we're in talks to extend that now.
If I say to you, wave a little wand, Ed, you can have 4 fights this year. Anything you want, whatever you want, son.
Joshua Wilder.
Yep.
Brooke Khan.
Yep.
Strada Yafai, once he beats Chocolatito.
Yeah.
I'll give you a few more.
Go on,
That's all right.
whack them out.
Julio Cesar Martinez against Inoue.
Okay.
Right. Dillian White. I'd even say Dillian White, Andy Ruiz, to be honest with you, but Dillian White against Wilder. I would like to make Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders. I would like to make Golovkin against Canelo. I would like to make Charlo against Andrade.
Great
I would
fight.
also like to make Danny Jacobs against Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders as well. I think we'd go on all day. So
Lucas Brown and Tom Little? Is that on your agenda?
Lucas Brown's fighting Otto Wiley.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
So Gerald Miller's
Simon Top Rank, yeah.
on a co-promotion. Yeah, your thoughts on that?
I mean, he couldn't have tried any harder to get us to sign him, but I couldn't do it.
Oh, he did come to you and wanted
Mate, he didn't want to go with anyone else but me. I couldn't do it because, and it is a bit frustrating because there's so many big fights I could have put him in, but I just couldn't do it. Like even me, I couldn't do it.
But why?
But why? Because he failed 3 drugs tests
But
to
people
fight
have
into
failed
Joshua.
drug tests on your cards before.
But they have at least served a ban or gone through a process.
What's
Go on, what's who?
what? I don't know what the situation is. He's not banned from anything, is he? Or
Who?
he's
That's what
Gerald
I'm
Miller.
saying, but there's never been a ban. He hasn't served the ban, and for me, he fucked me. It's not even about the ban. He fucked me. You know, we had a massive fight going at Madison Square Garden. Joshua against Miller, great fight, and he fucked me. He, you know, and then Ruiz. But listen, it all worked out lovely in the end. Don't get me wrong. But
Well, kind of.
look, people criticise me when I put a guy on the card who failed a drugs test 3 years ago and served the year ban, right? So what am I going to get if I sign Jarrell Miller? Interestingly, Top Rank announced it. No one even moaned. But
I think people would have just got over it, wouldn't they? Like they do with every other situation.
yeah, maybe. But I made the decision not to do it. Trying to be morally correct. Maybe no one gives a fuck.
Ed, just last year I watched the interview last night actually.
Which one?
That's why I was late. Our first one of 2019, and you were like, "Bring it on!" But today you're a bit like,
I'm still pissed off with you because, to be honest, mate, I got home last night at midnight. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. It was poor form today,
Yeah.
but I still got here before you.
Yeah.
All right. Have you got anything else? Anything you want to say to the fans?
mate.
Tell the fans.
No, the fans I love the fans, and I'm looking forward to a massive year. I think maybe the reason that I'm not 100% firing is because I've got a million things in my head that are just slotting into place for March, April and May.
We're all sitting here on the edge of our fucking seats, mate.
You will be, but one thing is for sure, mate. You will only need the fucking edge of your seats for this schedule coming up.
How many pay-per-views will he have this year?
This year, 5, 6 max.
Joshua will take
Be
up
between
2.
4 and 6.
Who 6 is your? Joshua takes 2.
Dillian,
Dylan White
maybe.
takes a couple.
Billy Joe Callum Smith, Brooke Khan. There's loads available.
I love a pay-per-view show, mate. I've got to admit.
Just for the stick.
No, not because of that. Forget that side of it. But when it's pay-per-view, it's like you know you've got to deliver. You know you've actually got to do some fucking
So you
work.
don't like the Saturday nights because
No,
pressure
this is,
on it.
this is a little cheeky one
It's cheeky, yeah,
for
it is.
March the 7th. But no, pay-per-view shows. Bring them on, mate.
Right, I'm going to get a coffee.
Go on then.
Speak to you
Thanks,
in a bit.
mate.
Gold Star Promotions is proud to present Floyd Money Mayweather. The man himself is coming to the UK for his UK tour, February and March 2020. For all info and tickets, goldstarpromotions.co.uk.